Today, we're going to talk about 6-7. What does it really mean? The truth might shock you. So, when I was a kid, we had this thing that went around our school. It was actually all over the country. We would see our friends in the hallway at school and we'd yell out, "Where's the beef?" Seriously, it was the thing. In fact, it was everywhere. There were t-shirts that said, "Where's the beef?" and hats that said, "Where's the beef?" And everywhere we went, kids were going, "Where's the beef?" and "Where's the beef?" And what was interesting, I remember watching adults freak out about it. Now, this was before the internet was the thing, so we would hear adults say things like, "It's obviously a gang-related term to indicate violence." It wasn't. Or we'd hear other adults saying, "It's obviously sexual." No, it wasn't. Any old people like me who remember where this came from? It was from a Wendy's commercial. That's right, the fast food restaurant. And in the commercial, there was a little old lady, and she'd open up the competitor's hamburger, and there was barely any hamburger in it. So she'd yell out, "Where's the beef?" And as kids, we just thought it was funny. And so we started repeating it. And what made it even better to us was the fact that the adults didn't get it. In fact, the more they didn't get it, the funnier it became to us. It literally became a sort of a check to see if you were cool or not, if you were in on it or you were not in on it. You get it or you don't get it. But now we live in the internet age. We live in the world of TikTok and social media and YouTube. And there are, let me be very clear, there are some things, some phrases, some terms we should not allow our kids to use in our kids' ministry classrooms. We should take a pretty big stand against some, because some of them do have very bad connotations. I'm not getting into a list of those now. That will be a different video. But specifically 6-7, is that a "where's the beef?" or is it something more notorious? When Nick 6-7 first came out, if you were online at all, I saw all kinds of videos of adults saying, "Here's what it really means." And I heard everything from its symbol of an element on the periodic table that is calling someone a prostitute somehow as a code. I heard, you name it, I've heard it. Is any of that true? Well, I did some actual research. And here's the truth of where it came from. You might already know some of this. It came from a song by a rapper named Skrilla, Skrilla, not a Christian rapper, but in his song, and I'm not even going to go into what song it was because that doesn't matter. What matters is in the song he says, "And then I 6-7'd out," or something like that. When he was asked what did it mean, he would say in his early interviews, he would say that it didn't really mean anything. He just liked the way it sounded and stuck it in a song. I think more recently, since 6-7 really became a thing, he might have changed that, but initially that's what he said. Then a basketball player, whose name I don't remember because I'm not into basketball, but he started saying 6-7. That's where this hand motion came from. He would say it 6-7. And depending on who you talk to, it was either a reference to his height, he's 6'7" tall, or his jersey number. I don't actually know, but it became very well associated with this basketball. And that's where the kids got it from. Kids saw him doing this, saying 6-7, and kids started saying 6-7. And as I got a little deeper into it, I found out what it actually means to the kids, what the kids are actually saying. You ready? Now lean in because this is important. Here's what it really means. You ready? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. And that's the point. It's not supposed to mean anything. It's kind of like the "where's the beef" thing. You're either in on it or you're not in on it. And that's it. It's just a joke the kids are doing. It's an excuse when you hear somebody use the number 6 or the number 7 to 6-7. Everybody goes, ha ha ha. And like all those other things, the more adults don't get it, the funnier it becomes. So I think what matters to us as children's ministers, as people in churches, is how do we respond to things like 6-7 or where's the beef? Or just a few years ago, everybody was running around going, what's up? It was from a commercial, I don't even remember. But again, didn't really mean anything. And it's important to separate that for some other things that do have meaning and we should be very careful with. But every generation has a thing that is just a dumb kid's thing. And this happens to be the thing of the moment. And after this goes away, there's going to be another one. So how do we respond? And I think this is important because I remember when I was a kid with the where's the beef thing, you would see adults who didn't get it, who came up with all kinds of weird theories. And that made them, what that meant was those adults were separate from us. It created a separation. We knew that they didn't get it. They didn't get us. But there were some adults who would say it along the way, where's the beef? And while they were still the old fuddy-duddies, they were still grown-ups, we kind of went, okay, they get it. It created a connection. And so with 6-7, with whatever new trend is going on, we have to decide whether we want to create a separation or a connection with our kids. We can create a bond or we can create a disconnect with how we react to these things. And I think that for us is the most important thing. I dressed up in a costume a few months ago on a Sunday. I had a t-shirt with a big 7 on it and an ice pack on my head, and I would cough and sneeze because I was a sick 7. Is it dumb? Yeah. Did the kids think it was hilarious? Yeah, because it's just a dumb thing. So whenever the next dumb thing comes around, what do you think we should do?